1979. I was 20. Wow, 20 years old. No longer a teenager, in college. Another very big year. In fact, this was difficult to do. I have about maybe 30 albums from that year now that I've brought back into the collection, which is quite a bit to have from one year. But there's a lot of memories from this year. Pretty important stuff. And, we're going to take a look at that. So in 79, key things. They had the big bonfire of disco records at Comiskey Park. But more important, Sony Walkman was introduced. We had that. And the Chia Pet came around. I mean, can you think of anything more exciting than the Chia Pet? It's still hanging around. It just hasn't quite ever gone away. It's the perfect gift for if you don't know what to get someone, get them a Chia Pet. You can't go wrong. I mean, they'll just sit in the box and probably never get taken out. But yeah, there we go. But let's look at albums. I have 12. I could have done 10 easy by just not doing the last two, but I just thought they were worth showing and talking a little bit about. So we're going to do 12. My 12 favorite that I still have in my collection from that year. But you know what? They're pretty much going to be, I think they all are excellent, are well worthy of it. We'll begin with this. This is the third album from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And this is their tour de force. They're having problems with MCA, and they wanted to get out of the contract, and they had to do another album really quick. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, we got to have another one. So they took a bunch of Mudcrutch songs and then wrote some other ones extremely fast, threw them all together, and came up with Damn the Torpedoes. And damn if they didn't come up with a great album. I mean, this is just tough Stones fusion. It's a fusion of between the Stones and the Byrds. It's all put together. It's mixed in there. And it is just, the band is on top-notch form. And it's just hit after hit. Refugee, Here Comes My Girl, Even the Losers. You Tell Me, Don't Do Me Like That. My God. And it just keeps going and going and going until the very last song, Louisiana Rain. It kind of comes down a little bit softer. Just an incredible album from Tom Petty and his group. They could do no wrong, and it really began a string of incredibly good albums by them, but this is the big one, number 3. Number 11, and I just recently, I was not familiar with this one until the VC got me introduced to The Wipers. And man, this is their debut album. This is This Real? Is this real? It's a question mark. Is this real? And this is just, it's like a fast burst of desperate adolescence. I think that's a good way to say it, It is, I mean, really, it's a return of kind of, how best to say it? Well, when you look at certain songs on here, like Rat, Tragedy, what's another one on here? Oh, that Alien Boy, that was one also. I mean, it was just this. It was like short, spunky songs. They're just filled with angst, and I mean, and just this guitar frenzy happening. This thing is just incredible. If you like your punk, or it kind of in between this new wave and punk, but it was hard, it was fast, it came at you, it did not let up. This thing is just incredible. You can find the reissues out there, and it truly is a wonderful album that I missed the first time around, but these reissues brought this to my attention. Well worth getting. Man, number 11. Number 10. Now, I did notice this was missing off Vinyl Richie's list. When Vinyl Richie did 1979, he did not put this out there. I don't know why. That's Christopher Cross. And this is his debut, Christopher Cross. And folks, this is an incredibly good album that I can put on anytime and totally enjoy. It is one of the greatest soft rock records ever made. And I'm not a guy that really likes a lot of soft rock, but this is absolutely fantastic. You have the dreamy sailing. You have the surging ride like the wind. But the other songs are all done so well. And Christopher Cross, I mean, he was so well respected. You think Don Henley sings on this. Michael McDonald sings on this. Nicolette Larson, she's singing on this. And there was a variety of other people that came in to be a part of this album. And Christopher Cross knows how to play guitar, and he plays it quite well. But it was just, I don't know, to me, it is one of the greatest mainstream albums to come out during that decade. And it just put everything together. Sold billions of copies. Billions. Well, maybe not quite a billion, but we know it sold a lot. Grammy winner. It was panned by so many people because of its softness. But the fact is, it's very well written. And there isn't, I mean, I can pop this on any time and just totally enjoy it. Christopher Cross, number 10. It's probably on everyone else's list. It is awesome. Number 9. So after that, why not have number 9? AC/DC, Highway to Hell. I was not an AC/DC fan in college. My little brother was. By the way, Tom Petty, my little brother bought that. Oh man, why'd you buy that? What's that? It was kind of, again, I'm into the other stuff. And I grew to like it. My little brother bought Highway to Hell. Oh man, what's up with that? I like this one really quick though. This was really good. This is like the it has the ultimate driving song. Bar none. I mean, let's face it. No stoplight, speed limit. Nobody's going to slow me down. I drive. I mean, I am a very fast driver, and the driving rules are just, they're suggestions to me. Highway to Hell is in my brain all the time. Most fitting song I could ever think for the demise of Bon Scott. Now, there's not a lot of deep thought in these lyrics, and that's not what it's about. This is rock and roll, baby, and that's what they do. The album, it's loud. It has these. It's simple, but it has these pounding riffs and just this humongous backbeat that's just incredible. The band is just super tight on this. I mean, they just could do no wrong. It is just a tour de force of great hard rock music. Absolutely incredible. Number 9, it did beat out Christopher Cross, and just, yeah, something else. So thank you, little brother, and for Tom Petty. Number 8, Gary Numan's The Pleasure Principle. My little brother bought this too. And brought it in and go, what's that? I questioned my little brother an awful lot. And he never questioned any of mine. He just said, oh, hey, that probably sucks. It's amazing how many things I really like now of him. Oh, well. He doesn't even have a turntable. He never was into music, really. There's not a weak moment on this album. It is good from start to finish. You have the airtight killer grooves in the song Metal. You have the atmospheric airplane. Of course, you have Cars. Here in my cars, I feel safest of all. Incredibly cool song. They brought in a new drummer on this, Cedric Sharpley, I believe. And he really added a lot to it and created just a tour de force of music. And of course, Gary Numan's voice, it has a cold, monotonous type of a sound, but it sounds like he's from another planet. Incredible stuff. Just another fantastic album. that came out the end of the year. And, you know, in the U.S., he never really did anything else really big. I bought his stuff, but he's still putting out music, and some of his new stuff's very good. So number 7. No, number 8. Sorry, number 8. I'm going to lose count. We know that every time. All right, number 7. Joe Jackson, Look Sharp. I did not buy this in 1979. My friend that introduced me to punk rock, Jeff Bigelow, in 1982, between 82 and 83, introduced me to punk and to Joe Jackson. And this is Joe Jackson's debut. He also did I'm a Man that year. That is also incredibly good. This is like pop music that's sarcastic. It has an attitude, and it's just aggressive, really aggressive. It has the energy of punk. It's like pop with the energy of punk going on. It's bristly. It's just insanely catching pop songs. And really, these songs, they seethe with energy and frustration. And this guy, he's like a jilted lover. And a lot of his songs are just about that. These aren't happy love songs. These are like songs like, God, that person just thinks I suck, or I suck, and kind of that feeling. You know, you think like, oh, what were some of those? Well, is she really going out with him? Think about the sarcasm of that. Is she really going out with him? Happy loving couples. Again, just really, really sarcastic, kind of a sad thing. Fools in Love. Outstanding music on here. You have Sunday Papers. One More Time. It just starts off. One more time. And just, when you drop that needle, it takes off like a jet engine. But this guy could write great songs. Such an incredible debut album. Joe Jackson, Look Sharp. You know, it's one of those perfect albums for any collection. You can put it on any time, and it still sounds fresh. Absolutely fresh. That was number 7. Number 6. Cheap Trick, Dream Police. And let's just continue with my theme. My little brother bought this. And I go, what's that? God, I tell you. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, another one. This is another just wonderful, great album. There's just these epic rockers. I mean, it just starts off with Dream Police, but this house is rocking. Gonna Raise Hell. I mean, that thing just blows your mind. It is so hard. They introduce synths on here, but it's just rock. And side 1, when it starts with Dream Police, Way of the World, House is Rockin', Gonna Raise Hell, it just comes at you like a hurricane. Now on side 2, they have more of the pop-oriented voices, soften it down, but otherwise this thing absolutely kicks butt. It just incredible good stuff. And probably my favorite album from A Cheap Trick. I mean, every song's on is good. It sounds fresh to this day. Once again, thank you to my little brother. His name is Jim, by the way, for doing that. He probably even still has his albums, just he doesn't have a turntable, so he doesn't play them. I actually got a turntable once I left college. Maybe he did. All right, number 5. I think I got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. We're doing all right here. Number 5. I bought this album. My little brother did not. He goes, what's that about? I went to the record store, Pickles, and in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I saw this cover. And I go, God, that looks kind of cool. Who are these people? What is this about? Because I wasn't reading music magazines at the time, so I really didn't know. And so I bought this. And wow, man, it was like a fusion of Stones, rock and roll, mixed in with new wave pop and punk aggression. All of that was thrown in here. I mean, it's filled with just these sharp hooks, but it was just this cool attitude. And that's what I mean. Just look at that. Look at them. They just look freaking cool, don't they? Chrissie Hynde, she has that sexy swagger and that voice. And James Honeyman Scott, you talk about, just these pounding rhythms when you think of songs like Precious, Tattoo, was it Tattoo Love Boys, and bring up oh my God, you would think I would have all this memorized in there. No, now I can't find the one I wanted on there. Mystery Achievement, that was one. But but then they have the softness of Brass in Pocket. It shows, hey, we can do something poppier, and it had really good pop sensibility. And like Kids was one, and Kid, again, more pop sensibility. So you had the swagger of punk, but yet there was pop, and was pointing us in new directions. The Pretenders, number 5, incredibly good album. Number 4, and this one I still have my original vinyl. Now we're getting to some of these real big classics. Fear of Music. I bought this one when it came out. I was in love with Talking Heads, and this came out, and I'm going, what the hell are they doing? I put on iZimbra, and it comes up that African rhythm. And I'm ready there for another Artist Only. I'm ready for another Take Me to the River. And this thing went dark. On this album, they used minor keys on so many songs, and it really got dark. But oh so good. And just the beginning of iZimbra using these African rhythms, and then they just make up words. They aren't singing the language, it's totally made up. But it was so different from everything they're doing. And there was just this, like the sarcasm that's in it. You think of the song Animals, and animals think. They're very smart. They sit on the ground. They see in the dark. Just incredibly good. Or you have Life During Wartime is on here. This ain't no party, this ain't no disco, this ain't no fooling around, no time for dancing or lovey-dovey, we ain't got time for that now. Just great stuff. And David Byrne with just that intensity, and it's just so good. Just a lot of great things on here. And they're just Drugs, Air. One of the most beautiful songs they ever made, Heaven, is on here. If you've never heard that, pull that up sometime. Heaven from the Talking Heads, and listen to the bass. Tina Weymouth rocks. Her bass is gorgeous in that thing. Such a great album. Number 4 could have easily been number 1. Number 3, here's my vinyl from the Flood, London Calling. Arguably one of the best Clash albums. It is a 2-album set. It's a stew. It's a stew of punk, reggae, rockabilly, ska, lounge jazz is in here, hard rock is in here. And you would think you put all that in there, it's going to be just a chaotic mess. And it's not. It rocks. It's political. You have London Calling, Spanish Bums, Guns of Brixton. And those songs rock really, really hard. It's songs about politics, songs about revolution, but it's all very invigorating. And this rocks harder than their other albums. They just come out going at it. About working class rebellions happening, anti-establishment rants. It's all in there. It's what I truly enjoyed about punk, when we're coming out and trying to say something, and we're saying it loud, and this is the album that did it. Wonderful, wonderful thing. Number two. By the way, that was my friend Jeff Bigelow in '82 introduced me to that one. But this one I bought at the record store, the original vinyl, B-52s. How could you? Just look at that. I had no idea. I just saw it and go, what is that about? I better buy that and see. And you talk about something coming out of left field. This was so original, so amazing. It had everything you could ask for. It had bad hairdos. It had sci-fi nightmares. It had just kitsch, you know, crazy dance crazes were on here. Amazing album. And it just, again, from start to finish, maybe Downtown, it seems almost like a throwaway at the very end. I mean, it's an interesting rendition of it. But Planet Claire, Dances Mess Around, Rock Lobster. Is there something better than between Planet Claire and Rock Lobster? Two of my all-time favorite songs. It took, you know, kind of that 60s, 50s kitschy culture and put it, which was big in Athens at the time. That's how people were dancing, very bohemian and everything, and they just took it to the next level. Incredible debut album. And number 2. At number 1, my friend Jeff Bigelow, there's the original on there, introduced me to this group. One of my all-time absolute favorite punk albums, Stiff Little Fingers. It's a raging record. There's just all this anger that's happening. They take the style of the Sex Pistols, but they crank up the personal and political issues. They take it to a whole new level, and it's incendiary, and you just, from start to finish, when this is done, you're in a sweat, because it hits you and goes so fast and so hard. Yes, because it's from the UK, you have to have your obligatory reggae cover, and they do. It's Johnny Was, but their Suspect Device, Barbed Wire Love is on here. Wasted Life, State of Emergency, Here We Are. Maybe that doesn't mean a lot to most, but I'm telling you, those are incredible good stuff. Alternative Ulsters on here. Man, adrenaline-fueled songs, and they don't let up. I play this thing so often. It is the punk album, besides Nevermind the Bollocks, that I play the most, because it is passion. It's saying something, but it's done with such anger and angst and exciting. And the guy's vocals sound like he ate glass. So great stuff. My number 1 from 1979, Stiff Little Fingers, Inflammable Material. It doesn't get better. That's all. Hey, that was good. I'm really excited about these albums. On to 1980. And, obviously music is changing. Probably 1980, I was still in college, and so my little brother was still buying records, so Lord knows how about half of those would probably be something he bought. But appreciate you coming along for the ride. Hope to see you Sunday. Bye.